Well, today these are the crafts that you might be looking at doing on Saturday, which is our Messy Church Day and the end of this week of stories and activities. Now, we're in ancient Rome, so I thought maybe it would be a good idea to make a Roman chariot. So the first thing you do, it's all in your pack, is a foil container. And probably mums and dads need to help with the cutting out and things like that. But you cut off the end in a curved shape, like the chariot would have been. And then the edge of the container, open it out, cut the corners, fold that bit down, and then you take your straw, as I've already done here, and you fasten it there and stick it with sellotape. And those are the shafts of the chariot where they would normally have their horses. You have 2 wheels and decorate them, make them nice and bright and colourful, and a split pin. So, as you can see, I've done there. You push your split pin through the foils, open it out, and you have a Roman chariot. Okay, and because on Saturday the story is about the lost son who comes home and his father has a huge party for him, 2 other activities that you could do, crafts you can do, is here's your party plate and decorate it as bright, as colourful, as attractive as you can possibly make it, because it was a very joyful party. And also there'll be a wine glass in your pack, which again you can decorate with stickers. You can draw on it with felt tips, and Sharpies are good for that because they stick, and it's like stained glass. And those are your plate and your glass for your party. So these will be in your Saturday pack, along with the worksheets that go with the stories. Now the children are preparing the granary for a meeting of the Christians. Cyrus remembers performing in the circus with his father. Zach arrives breathless, seeking revenge on the Romans. But Ben reminds him that not all Roman soldiers are bad. But then soldiers arrive and a chase ensues. Cyrus is caught. A Roman senator, Flavius, seeing his acrobatics, buys him from the soldiers and takes him away. Meanwhile, Anna has noticed the crest on Flavius's carriage, so Ben can identify who he is. They follow Flavius's carriage to his estate, where Cyrus thinks he is going to be ill-treated and tries to escape. But Flavius dresses him up and feeds him well. He plans to use Cyrus's juggling skills to impress the Senate. He even gives Cyrus a new name, Cairo, Prince of Jugglers. The others plan to rescue Cyrus. Ben tells part 1 of the story of the lost son. When they arrive at Flavius's house, to their surprise, Cyrus doesn't want to be rescued, so they leave without him.
The big spender. The people who thought they were good were still not happy with Jesus. They moaned, they grumbled, they frowned. It's not fair, they complained. Jesus spends all his time with bad people. Jesus heard this and told them one more story. Once upon a time, there was a man who had 2 sons. He loved them both very much. But one day, the younger son came to him with a sad request. "Father," the younger son said, "when you die, I will get part of your money and part of your land. The problem is, I don't want to wait. I want it now. It was all the father could do to hold back his tears, but because he loved his son, he agreed and gave him his share of the money. That very day, the son left home, money in his pocket and a big smile on his face. He didn't even say goodbye. The father just watched, wiped away a tear, and hoped that one day he would see his son again. The son travelled to a country far, far away and spent his money just as fast as he could. He drank, he gambled, he used his money to do many bad things until finally the money was gone. The son looked for a job, but the only work he could find was taking care of pigs. It was hard, dirty work, and he was so hungry sometimes that he thought about taking the pigs' food for himself. He was miserable, lonely, and sad.
God loves me, hey. God loves you, hey. God loves us, hey. God loves you. Oh, God loves me, hey. God loves you, hey. God loves us, hey. God loves you. I'm gonna shout, gonna make some noise. I'm gonna sing, gonna raise my voice. I'm gonna dance, gonna go a little crazy with you. I'm gonna jump up high. I'm gonna raise my hands to the sky. I'm gonna dance, gonna go completely loopy with you. Yeah, 'cause God loves me, hey. God loves you, hey. God loves us, hey. God loves you, yeah. God loves me, hey. God loves you, hey. God loves us, hey. God loves you. I'm gonna shout, gonna make some noise. I'm gonna sing, gonna raise my voice. I'm gonna dance, gonna go a little crazy with you. Will you go, will you go? I'm gonna jump up high. I'm gonna raise my hands to the sky. I'm gonna dance, gonna go completely loopy with you. Yeah, 'cause God loves me, hey. God loves you, hey. God loves us, hey. God loves you, yeah. God loves me, hey. God loves you, hey. God loves us, hey. God loves you. Try this. Whoa, whoa, pow, way, hey, whoa, whoa, pow, way, hey, whoa, whoa, pow, way, hey. God loves you and nothing you can do will ever change that. Whoa, whoa, pow, way, hey, whoa, whoa, pow, way, hey, whoa, whoa, pow, way, hey. God loves you and nothing you can do will ever change that. God loves me, hey. God loves you, hey. God loves us, hey. God loves you, yes he does. God loves me, hey. God loves you, hey. God loves us, hey. God loves you. Oh, God loves me, hey. God loves you, hey. God loves us, hey. God loves you, yeah, yeah. God loves me, hey. God loves you, hey. God loves us, hey. God loves you. Oh, God loves us, hey. God loves you.
Now, let's travel back to ancient Rome. Flavius's banquet for the Senate has been a huge success. But later that night, his slaves revolt burning the fields and warehouses and stealing Flavius's possessions. Flavius now tries to blame Cyrus, who runs away. Later that night, news reaches Ben, who decides to find Cyrus. And Justin wonders why they should bother. He didn't want rescuing in the first place. Helena defends Cyrus and tells part 2 of the story of the lost son, stressing the point that it was difficult for the son to come back and difficult for the older brother to welcome him home. Eventually they do find Cyrus, and Justin welcomes him by giving Cyrus his cloak. So, the message here is that even if we turn away from God, He's willing to welcome us back if we ask for His forgiveness, just like Cyrus. Sue is now going to tell you the remainder of the story, and then we will be singing 1 or 2 more songs to round off our messy church.
One day he had an idea. The servants who take care of my father's animals are much happier than me. I'll go home, that's what I'll do. I'll tell my father how sorry I am for wasting his money. And maybe, just maybe, he'll let me become a servant and work for him. Now, what do you think the father had been doing all this time? Did he say to himself, I have my eldest son at home with me. Who cares if my younger son is gone? Of course not. He loved his son, even though he had gone far away. And every day he would go out to the roadside and watch, hoping his son would return. That's exactly where he was when the younger son hobbled home, poor and hungry. The father ran to his son and hugged him tight, and the son dropped right to his knees. "Oh, Father," he cried, "I am so sorry. I've wasted all your money, and I'm no longer good enough to be called your son." "Don't be silly," said his father. "You are my son. You will always be my son, and I'm so glad you've come back." Then the father lifted his son to his feet and walked him home. He dressed him in beautiful clothes. He put gold rings on his fingers, and he threw him a big welcome home party. When the elder son came home from work that night, he heard the party noise. "What's happening?" he asked. And when a servant told him, he was filled with anger and ran to his father. "It's not fair," he shouted. "I've been a good son. I've worked hard for you all these years. But he was bad. He wasted your money. And now you're throwing him a party." "I love you, my son," said the father, "and you have enjoyed all the good things I have. But your brother was gone, and now he's back. He was lost, and now he's found. That's why I'm having this party, because we're all back together again."
But it's sometimes hard to understand how the God who made the earth and man will point a finger down from heaven and shout, "Hey you, I love you, hey you, I love you, hey you, you, I love you, but good." We are gonna praise the Lord. We are gonna praise the Lord. We are gonna praise the Lord. He's an exciting, power rising, good, colossal, humongous, God. an exciting, power rising, good colossal, humongous, humongous. I, we are gonna praise the Lord. I, we are gonna praise the Lord. I, we are gonna praise the Lord. He's an exciting, power rising, good colossal, humongous, humongous God. He's an exciting, power rising, good colossal, humongous, humongous